worked with some top tier people. This is not just drumming for our locals, which are great, support our locals,
Totally.
but you drumming across the U.S., across the out of the country. On a regular basis. And I would love to dig into that on what that looks like. And this is why I said our topic today is the creative hustle. Not just a drummer and a performer. Come on, you don't just drum. First of all, you are a drummer. And actually, I'm gonna skip to where my cards go there. In some quotes I saw, I'm searching you up and I'm looking at people like their comments on you. Some of the stuff, if you've read the comments, there's a lot. But if you read some of them, someone's like, such a master, genius, one of the legends of our times, my hero, a beast. Like, these are the comments that people say about you. How does that feel being where you're at right now?
It's really, really humbling thing.
Hey, we're back with another episode of the T. Smith Experience with the Too Skilled to Fail series. Today, I have Mr. Eric Moore in the house. He's going to be gracing this show podcast. We're going to be talking about the creative hustle today, getting to know Eric first. We're going to start with that and know who this man is, because right now I am at awe of everything that I have researched and learned. I've known him over, a year and 2 years now, almost. But doing research on him, it blew me away even more just to hear your background and what you've done in the music industry at such a young age. So I'm going to let you give it to him, but a little bit about Eric Moore that I know. You've been drumming since you were 18 months. Like, you were in diapers still, bro.
That part. Little kid.
18 months, made your way at 4 years old, drumming in the church, and then from there you're drumming in a high school competition?
So, I made my way. I made my way through playing drums. I grew up playing in church ever since I was like 2 years old. My parents just told me I used to bang on pots and pans, and from there, I had an uncle that played in church, and he just let me play on his lap and play with the choir. And then from there, by the time I could start walking, 4 or 5 years old, kindergarten, I ended up playing with the high school jazz band. I was 5 years old. So played with the high school jazz band and always banging on desk and getting in trouble for playing drums. But that was my passion. So just went through school, played in a high school band, won a lot of trophies from there. And then I believe before I was 21, I was 20, I won the Guitar Center drum-off. Yeah, and then that's when my career took off. After high school, it was crazy because I used to work like a regular job, a lot of different jobs. I used to work at Foot Locker, Finish Line.
Drumming on the boxes at Foot Locker?
Yeah, I was just doing too much. And then I was a security guard. Being a security guard, I had a job being security, and I won the Guitar Center drum-off, and then I quit all regular jobs. I'm like, I'm just going to focus on drums.
That's awesome.
And then the career just went crazy from there. It's been amazing.
Yeah, and crazy is you've worked with some top tier people. This is not just drumming for our locals, which are great, support our locals,
Totally.
but you drumming across the U.S., across the out of the country, on a regular basis. And I would love to dig into that on what that looks like. And this is why I said our topic today is the creative hustle. Not just a drummer and a performer. Come on, you don't just drum. You got keys behind you. Come on now, there's other stuff that you do.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, well, I'm going to expose you today.
Oh, Lord.
But you have so many skills, and this is why this is the Too Skilled to Fail series. We are going to talk about the Too Skilled to Fail part of this, because it's not that you're just drumming. I mean, of course, just drumming at 18 months on is not just, first of all. You are a drummer. And actually, I'm going to skip to where my cards go there. In some quotes I saw, I'm searching you up, and I'm looking at people like their comments on you. Some of the stuff, if you've read the comments, there's a lot. But if you read some of them, someone's like, such a master, genius, one of the legends of our times, my hero, a beast. Like, these are the comments that people say about you. How does that feel being where you're at right now?
It's really, really humbling thing to have so many people that pay attention to the gift that God has given me, and just to be able to create the moments that I create, whether it's with an artist or being able to be a YouTuber or a social media influencer, or just to be a human in like all different elements of being humble. It's not simple. When I think about it, like I was 26 years old being a real rock star. Like being in not just, you're a rock star, like I'm literally in a big rock band, a punk rock band, playing in front of 100,000 people, 75,000 people, shows, festivals, on Vans Warped Tour and stuff as a African-American, black person, it's crazy to be drumming like that. And especially coming from the church, it's not just a normal lifestyle. It's like culture shock.
Right. I was talking to somebody about gifts and your gifts and then your hobbies. Like, this is a gift. This is a God-given gift for you to drum. I mean, I know one conversation we had not too long ago, you were talking about you used to drum in your sleep. You used to, drum in your sleep. And I would believe that everyone with a gift, that's what it is. It's like God waking you up. You got something else in your mind. This is just like writers and things like that. You wake up with an idea and got to get up and just write it down. So you keep a notepad and paper, pen next to you, right?
Yes. That's how it's been ever since a kid. That's why being creative and banging with pencils or chopsticks in a restaurant or anything of that nature that has something to do with drums has always been on my mind. And to think of it as a hobby, it's not really a hobby to me. It's so much of my heart, my joy, my passion, my love is something that I do every day, and it makes me feel good. Like, I used to be in school and it would be lunchtime and I didn't have like money to go eat, and I could go to the jazz band room or to the band room and literally play drums, and it would like fill me up to where I could get through the day.
Yeah.
So it's like,
As
I
crazy
just
as
love
that
music.
sounds.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, I love that. I love you have so playing in high school and playing on and beyond, and then playing across the world. You have such a broad span. It says what Sly and Family Stone, Bobby Brown. Who
my career has been amazing. So growing up in church, you learn how to play so many different styles of music because church music is multicultural. So songs can sound like rock songs can sound very gospel, songs can sound contemporary like a country song. It could be slow, fast, and it's all within moods. So church is heartfelt. It's something that is from the heart. And that's how I feel about music. So no matter the music, if I'm playing with Sly Stone, it's funk, yes, but it's a heartfelt funk music of how you feel the rhythm. And then from going to that to playing with Bobby Brown, and it has more of a New Jack Swing, Teddy Riley era. So the swing is a totally different pattern of how that is. And then going from that to El DeBarge, and he's more laid back R&B, really smooth, sensual. So not playing too much, like really in the pocket, to El DeBarge, being like 70s, 80s, early kind of hip hop, but pulled back. Like the vibe is totally different from Chico's era. And then you go from that to Bobby Brown, which was the thing. Then I go back to playing with Belle Biv DeVoe. And then from Belle Biv DeVoe, going to Infectious Grooves, which was punk rock / funk. And then that to Suicidal Tendencies, which was punk rock, very, very hardcore, crazy. And then from that to my own band Lilac, to playing with so many other artists. I've worked with Bootsy Collins and so many R&B acts growing up and doing shows with so many different people, gospel acts. It's just the music all varies, and it all stemmed from just playing in church and just learning how to be a master of the craft and just loving music.
And that you are. And that's, I mean, for you to be able to be trained in one thing, but however your body, your mind, your soul is like, I want to be all over. I want to be able to play anything.
Most definitely.
And I know I did see that even. That's like part of your branding is saying that I will be able to play with anybody. I can play with anybody, whatever tempo.
That was always the goal. That was always the goal. I never just wanted to be stuck playing R&B music because that's what I look like. Nah, I just wanted to be different. And I knew in order to have a successful career and get to where I wanted to go and have the things I have, I had to be more than just a drummer playing behind an artist.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and your sound is so, out there. I mean, I feel like when they say give the drummer some, the drummer gets a lot, because when I first saw you, I first came on the scene in Las Vegas, 3 years ago, and I would see you play. You didn't know anything about me. I didn't know anything about you, but I would be like, that drummer again, that drummer guy. I didn't know your name. I was like, not going, I was I wasn't humble enough to come up to you and be like, who are you? Let me follow you online. But I remember as you drum, I was like, man, I've never heard a drummer with this much power and taking up that much space in a room, airspace or anything over a room, to where I just want to hear the drummer. Typically, you want to hear the performer, the person with the microphone singing.
Right.
I was just like, is there a show that just does drummers?
It would be crazy. I think hopefully one day that would be my next step in my career, is coming from behind them, which I do when I do drum clinics. So it's a totally different world when I travel the world as Eric Moore, the brand, and I play in front of drummers and doing drum festivals and drum clinics and my own shows, but it's not really my own super artistry. I call that, like, Anderson .Paak is a super artistry where he's singing and he's rapping and he's playing and he's the front man on drums. I believe that that's my next thing, my next step in my career. So it's going to be really cool to venture off into that.
I mean, here's the thing. You have your drum clinics. You have dope sticks. We're gonna get into that and talk about that because that's really our topic for today is that creative hustle. It's one thing to where you could just drum, but now you're waiting on someone to hire you.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're waiting for your next gig, if you will, putting yourself out there, whether it's social media, however you're branding yourself. You're having to do all that. At some point, you said, "Hey, hold on, let me get my own product.
Totally.
Let me put that out there." What was that like when that started? And tell me a little bit about Dope Sticks.
So about Dope Sticks was an idea that me and a close friend of mine had. His name is Damien St. John. So me and Damien, he's more of a social media guru. He really knows his way around social media. And he was giving me some insight, and he's like, you should start your own Instagram. You should do something for drummers and make it, what would be a good name? And then he was like, because it would be really, really dope if you have this. And I was like, dope, that's a really cool name. And so we started rolling the ball, and we came up with Drummers of Planet Earth. And so dope is an acronym for Drummers of Planet Earth, because everybody's always saying like, bro, you out of this world, like you an alien, you this, you that. Like, nah, bro, I'm a human, and I have emotion, and it's just my passion with drums and with knowing drums, with knowing music, being creative. So he was telling me to start an Instagram thing with, but more so my own thing, Drummers of Planet Earth on the internet. And I was like, I think that'd be a cool drumstick, like Dope Sticks would be crazy. And so we was going back and forth and adamant on Dope Sticks, and he's like, you should do it like this, and I'm like, I want to do this. And so we ended up actually getting into it. I was walking around Paris, France on the phone with him, and we got into it on the phone, and he was like, bro, here, you could just have the name, and let's come back to it in a few years and see how you do, because I think that you should do this. And I'm like, I feel adamant about this. So this is 2019. I was in Paris because I was on tour at the time, and that's right before the pandemic hit. And I had so much going on. When I started Dope Sticks, it was an idea, and it came into fruition from me being let go from a cymbal company that I played, and it was really, really whack how it all happened, how it all played out. But the guy at the company, he told me pretty much, he said, when I went to them with the idea of having a drumstick line, they wanted me to have my own signature drumstick. So they wanted to give me a drumstick with my name on it, and then they wanted to give me a very small percentage of royalties, just like they do for other drummers. And I was like, that sounds really nice, but because I play so many different styles of music, from rock to gospel to, I play in arenas, I play in small clubs, I play everywhere. I use a different style of a drumstick, just like a different drum setup every time I play. So I think it would be really, really cool to come out with, instead of me having a signature, come out with a branded product like Dope Sticks. So a week before it was called NAMM Show, I put out an Instagram page, the Dope Sticks page. From 0 to, I had about 8,000 followers in a week. And that was uncalled for in 2019 when the site just dropped. And then at NAMM Show, I came out with a prototype stick, and I had drum clinics in between sessions at NAMM. So in between the sessions, I would do signings, and I sold Dope Sticks. I ended up selling like 1,000 pairs of Dope Sticks in 4 days. So when the people at Zelgen saw this, I thought that they would take it in and be very, very happy and be enthused to want to work with me and see that, okay, we have an endorser that is a real hustler, and he wants to expand the brand and push something. But they really didn't want me to be smart in my thinking, instead of taking a small percentage, really being more branded and coming out with something bigger and better. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave other drummers this opportunity now after they did what they did to me, but it made me grow up real fast. They threw me in the fire when he was like, I don't believe that you could do this. And you don't tell an Aquarius that they can't do something.
No.
Yeah,
Here's a fellow Aquarius over here.
Yeah, so he told me that I couldn't, and I would fail. And from there, 2020 was an amazing, even though we went into a pandemic, Dope Sticks brand blew up because it was time to grind, be at home playing drums, pushing this on my sites, from my YouTube page to everything else. And it's just been an amazing thing in the last 4 years to see my company, man, be a 6-figure company and to just continue to grow. And it's been a great experience being an entrepreneur. It's not easy at all, though. Being an entrepreneur is very difficult. Dealing with so many different people, dealing with artists, having product on hand, making sure that your product is top. Because I play drums, I sample all my sticks. I'm creating a brand. I'm creating these pieces of art that are in your hands that has to be an extension of you. And when you play them, I want them to be the top quality that you have at an amazing, affordable cost. Because when I go to music stores and I go to these places, sticks are running $17, $20 for a pair of drumsticks. And from when I was a kid, that's insane. So to be able to give people high quality product at $10 for a pair of wood sticks, and then a pair of color sticks that last way longer than a pair of wood sticks at $15 is still under the market for something that's amazing. That's a great product that I guarantee and I back because I'm using this product and I'm playing these on world tours with amazing artists, not just company that's been around for 100 years that don't even play drums. It's kind of crazy to me.
That's cool. And here's what I really like what you just said is you talked about the quality and promoted the quality of the sticks itself. Never once did you boast, but I'm Eric Moore. You know what I mean? Because a lot of brands, you have a brand, we buy something very expensive because of the influence and the name back behind it. You're like, here's the quality. Let me show you the quality. You're buying quality for less price, which is absolutely amazing. I love that.
Totally. That's been my goal in my playing. Not just, okay, you're a personality. You could twirl drumsticks. You're larger than life. When you play, it's a look. I want it to be like you feel that. So when you pick up a pair of dope sticks, you totally feel. I honestly, Michael Jordan, like when you was a kid and you get that pair of J's and you put them on, you're like, oh, I feel special. Or when you're about to walk through anywhere you go, when you have on that new pair of shoes, when you pick up those new dope sticks and that new colorway, or whenever you sit down, I want it to be like, oh, this is about to go down. I feel good. I feel confident. I know what I'm using.
Yeah.
So that's the feeling.
Oh, that's what you did. You turn your creativity into sustainability. That's
Exactly.
really it. Your long life, legacy, if you will, for what you're doing. It's going to continue on if you keep on doing that and you go different
That's
colors.
the total goal.
That's the total goal, right? For you to be able to sit back, like you said, 6-figure brand. You can, if you were to stop touring right now, Dope Sticks will keep you.
It is suffice. Dope Sticks can definitely make me live perfectly fine. But the simple fact of I just always want more. I want more. I don't have any kids. I don't need the house I have. So I could live a lot smaller and be great. So, but even where I live, my mind still thinks outside of drumming and creating more of a business and being an entrepreneur in so many different ways. I just don't want to be 60 years old, 50, 60. I do want to play drums, but I do not want to think about I have to go on tour and be away from home and be away from my family if I get married again, being away from my wife or different things like that. I've already missed so many amazing moments having younger siblings in their life or being away from my parents, and life just takes changes and it's been crazy even at my age right now. So I just don't want to have to endure that later, going on the road, flying on airplanes for 14, 16 hours. It's a lot. It's a lot of wear and tear on your body, hitting hard every day. It takes a toll. Like, I feel good and stuff now, but who knows where I'll be or if anything can happen. So I just want to set it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Having a plan. We all had to come up with a plan during COVID, which as a backup plan. So many people came out with new ideas, new businesses, as yourself. I did as well, figuring it was just a new outlook altogether. I was really focused on being able to work and travel and work at a job that allowed me to travel, paid for my travel. And I was so excited about that. And then later on, I was like, I want to do this. I want to kind of focus on something and be where I'm at. I want to be able to plan. If I want to get up and go fly to California or fly to Texas or fly to New York or fly wherever to work, I want to be able to decide if I want to do that.
Your life looks so exciting on social media.
It is so fun. It has been very fun.
To be honest with you, I've got to hang out with you in different places and be around you. You're so much fun. It's really, really cool to just see you live life. You live life.
Yeah, there's a lot of backing. One day I'll actually give my full story, but in short, when I was 32, I had a stroke. And so at 32 years old, it took me a couple of years, maybe like 3 to 4 years for me to get to where I am now. But I had to get out of my own head at that point. I was just stressed. I had a lot going on. I was in school, I had kids, I had a bunch of stuff going on. And a lot of people don't know that. So recently I've been starting to share that because people are like, wow, you just do so much and you're always doing something. It's because I almost had an opportunity not to have to do it because I wouldn't have been here, right?
That's when So I have a question for you. When you had your stroke, how deep did it go to where you were able to finally come out of that? When I've seen people, when you're younger, you see people who have stroke, they like totally, it changes their whole everything, how they talk, their mouth, their movement. How did you persevere through that?
I'm still working on it. So like this hand, for instance, I can't really open stuff for nothing. Or sometimes it just go weak. I'll hold on to my phone like I'm sitting in bed, hold on to my phone. I drop it on my face. I've done that many times, unfortunately. And I laugh at it now, but I used to cry because I was like, when am I going to get back to like my strength and memory? Sometimes if I get, and I think it happens to all of us at some point, but if I get flustered, I can't remember certain words still to this day. So I'm constantly like, doing this Rolodex of words in my head that I never did before.
Got you.
So there's a lot of different things that I see. I mean, luckily, walking, talking, no one would be able to see or know that this happened to me. But when people are so like, girl, you're always doing stuff. And I always want to say, man, I almost had the opportunity. I almost was not able to do this.
Totally. So you want to live your best life while you got it. I want to live my
best life. It took me 3 to 4 years to get out of the mindset that I was going to have a stroke again. So I had anxiety, depression was coming back to back, constantly having anxiety attacks because I thought that it was going to happen again.
Yeah.
And I had to work my way out of it. I decided, but first I was like, let me try medicine. I tried medicine one day, got sick, and I was like, nope. And literally, I took one pill. The doctor was like, take half of the pill, and maybe you won't get sick. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna need to go into the holistic approach. So light therapy and everything I could do. That's what I'm gonna do. Get out there in the world, get out of my own way, and leave some things alone. There's a lot of things that were in my life that I didn't need in my life, stressors in my life that I basically had to say, yep, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. Whether it had to deal with my children and themselves, and I'm not saying not deal with them. It's really let me get them in order.
Yeah, because your life is important.
It was
and
important.
If you don't get yourself together, then you can't even be a mom. Like I've been a mom to you guys, and now I can't because I literally am sick.
My kids
right
literally
now.
they know about it now that they're older, but they don't remember. They didn't know what happened then. I had one of my daughters say, "Mom, remember that day that Grandpa had to come down and I shut down." My dad came down to the house and he was like, "What's going on?" I didn't know. I was like, "I don't know. Like I can't get it back because I was the depression portion. I was depressed and didn't know it."
Yeah.
A lot of different some things led up to it. Postpartum depression. I had just had a baby, and that led to some stress as well.
What?
So it was a
You
lot.
had a kid?
I was a surrogate
What?
twice. I have 5 of my own and 2 surrogate babies.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah. Yes.
Surrogacy is a setup.
It
It is an amazing setup. I could talk about that.
that's gonna be on these later ones, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, so it was a lot going into. I put a lot of pressure on myself, but it was on me though. No one put the pressure, and this is what I had to say to myself: no one is doing this to me. I'm doing this to myself.
Right.
And I had to back my way out of stuff. Like, okay, no, you don't. You're in school. You're taking care of the kids. You're trying to be a cheer coach. You're trying to do all this stuff. You're going through a divorce. There was so much stuff going on at one time. My body was like, nope, we're not doing it. I'm gonna sit you down because obviously.
Right.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. But yeah,
For sure.
Here we are being able to do this.
Yeah, this is conversation.
Yeah,
this great.
move. Yeah, this move to Vegas was all of that. In California, I had a lot of connections. So I knew a lot of people just in the music industry, and that's because of my, like loving music and film because of my stepdad and what he actually showed me growing up.
Gotcha.
And then I would hang out with certain people, and I'm like, and so when I moved to Vegas, my goal was to find my people who were
like you,
creative
like-minded.
thinkers, like-minded people who
help
would
you grow.
get out their own way, right? You have dope sticks, you play all kind of stuff. Like I said, I remember one time you were singing on the microphone, drumming, and doing key. We were doing 3 things. I was like, what is he doing?
Everything.
You were trying to do everything at one time.
Always.
I don't know how the setup, however you did it. Yeah, you were multitasking at once, and you're talking to people across the way. How are you talking to another bandmate at the same time while you're drumming?
Gift. It literally just plays itself. Once I start, it just plays itself. And it's whatever the situation needs. If it needs the background vocals, or if it needs the lead part, or if I need to make sure I'm playing playbacks or I'm playing percussion while I'm playing drums, it's just multitasking.
Yeah. Did you get the singing from church as well, or is it just something you just start doing?
I definitely got the singing from church. I used to sing when I was little. My dad would make me sing different songs for the choir, and I took a break actually in like 2014, 2015, and I started playing piano more in church. My dad needed some help, and I was fat. So because I used to weigh 504 pounds, I used to be huge, like three of these people or whatever. And because I was so fat, I needed to take a break and step away from being in the rock band because I wanted to get my health together. So when I stepped down, I started playing piano more and working in church, and I started helping the choir and started doing more singing. And it actually brought me back to my roots. So to sing and to play piano and to just look at music different, it was really cool. And that's almost 10 years ago. So it just grew me as a musician to be in a totally different limelight.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna let you glaze over the health thing because I actually had here went on a health journey.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have that as one of my notes that I wanted to talk about because
Yeah.
I mean, music is what it is. But seeing Eric Moore, you self-proclaimed Fat Eric Moore, to
Man.
Eric Moore today, what has that done for you, like your health-wise, mentally, and everything?
Mentally, it's totally changed my life. And what's crazy is when I did it, I was at a concert and I went to, I can't think of the name, but Michael Bland is the drummer for Prince. He's the one on the Diamonds and Pearls song. And if anybody knows Michael Bland, to me, he's one of the greatest drummers in the world. The way he plays music is amazing. The way he approaches drums is phenomenal. But I got to hang out with Michael Bland. So I saw him play drums and he got off stage and Michael Bland went to go sit on the back of golf cart because he's a bigger guy. And I knew then if I'm 504 pounds, Michael Bland trumped by, way taller than me. I'm at the time 6'2 and a half, 6'3. And he's like 6'5, 6'6. Like he's a tall, big guy. And he probably was like 750. But he got off stage and he couldn't go hang out with the people in the back or go in the dressing room and do different things. He literally had to just sit there and catch his breath after a show. And I took a picture with him. And from that day, it was Easter, the Easter weekend, April 15th, 2015. And that day I was like, I have to change my entire life. So I gave up all fast food, gave up all of that. I went and bought protein shakes and I already had a gym membership, but I wasn't using it. That next morning, I woke up, went to water aerobics. After that, got on the treadmill, came home, ate a protein shake and some oatmeal, and I played drums all day. And then I was married. So I did that to like 5 to when she got home. And then I cooked chicken and vegetables. And then I went back to the gym and got on the treadmill. So I would do 2 first. That's what we call them, 2 a day.
2 a day.
Yeah. And in the first month I did it, I lost like 34 pounds.
Wow.
And then the next month, another 28. And it just started coming down and coming down. But I had to change my entire mindset and every day just go completely hard and give up all the stupidity that I was eating. And it just started to feel correct. My drumming was taking force. My body was feeling good. I was breathing better. I just needed to change my life, like in all of those ways. And I actually turned into a super positive. I went from having negative energy in my head all the time when I was bigger, eating McDonald's and eating Taco Bell and all this fast food. When I changed the way I ate and started working out, I went to super positivity. I had a friend named Naisha, and she's an Aquarius as well. She's a January Aquarius. We haven't talked in a while, but when we would talk, she was like, you're so positive. You're so, like, everything you say is very, very positive. You look at things totally different. And I say, yeah, I just have a different approach to life. So just being able to change who I was in every aspect, it totally changed me. Especially because then when you're 26 years old and you're a rock star, you're not, I don't know, I'm young. So people would meet me and be like, oh man, I met him and he was an a-hole. Or when I met him, he was nice. I really don't know. We could be at the NAMM convention, and I don't have to, but I'm a rock star there, like young, and I have on my shades, and I'm Eric Moore, the rock star at that time. I am the drummer that's endorsed and who won Drum Off and who did all of these accomplishments. So my persona and how I felt inside, I felt successful. And when you have this at such a young age, how do you know how to be? You don't know how to be. You just only know how to live in the moment.
Yeah.
And that was my moment. So if you met me at that time when I was a rock star and that was where I was at as a young musician, not thinking about church, not thinking about God, like I'm thinking about what money I'm making, what house I'm about to buy, whatever it is at that time. It's a total different approach to life. So it was cool to just...
Sounds like you got some apologies you want to just send out there for anyone
I did. To be honest, I already did that.
I'm sorry.
I did that through social media lots of times and told everybody that if I ever was like that, blame it on my mind, not my heart.
Yeah.
But I'm not like that. And it's been some people take it against you, but the people that still don't mess with me or whatever, thank you, because you were never meant to be there in the first place.
Yeah, and you working on well, we got to work on ourselves, and you taught them something, and whatever it was, and they have their distance they want to keep. You have yours, but no, nonetheless, here we are today.
Yeah, totally.
And
it turns
you
you,
still
it creates who you are.
Right.
Everything.
I would say that too. I mean, great point though. Being in HR, my HR side of me, being in HR and being in business where
You said you
all
weren't
my
gonna bring
business.
that out.
Which one?
Yeah, you said you wasn't gonna bring HR out today.
God, an HR lady. Look, I said like an HR lady and everything when I said it. But being in HR or being in business for myself, put it that way. All my business is by way of referrals right now. I mean, there's a website, all that. No one touches that website, but I had to do it. In my mind, I had to do it to be legit. People always refer me over to somebody. If my attitude or my work ethic wasn't where it needed to be, them referrals would stop coming.
Right.
And so I know at certain times, I remember I had a client group and I was like, oh, I can't stand this client group. Like, fire me, please.
Yeah.
And then I was like, better yet, I'm gonna fire y'all. And I did it. I went about it the wrong way. And I remember somebody else reaching out to me because they actually passed this on to me. They reached out to like, you know what, I'm just gonna give you a little tidbit, just not that way. I get that the client was difficult. This is why I needed to pass it on because it couldn't do it and take the time, but it's how you did it, right? He said, you could have came back to me, gave the client back. I could have found somebody else or, at least referred somebody else over, but how you did it, never again. And I was like, that was early on when I started my business. And I was like, never again will I do the right because this guy could have been another connection to another client and another client.
Yeah.
And that's what's been happening ever since then. So note to self.
It's the same in drumming. It's the same in drumming. It's the same in being a musician, being around the right people and being a good person to that person, being good to that team, and then them referring you to another team and so on and so on. That's exactly how music goes too. I guess that's the way of life.
Yeah, it's the way, I guess, any business, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to just be music because I'm sure everyone can have a testimony about how they did business right or wrong.
Totally.
Or
you have to live and learn. Everything is live and learn.
learn.
You got to live and learn.
Yay. One of the things I want to do is like the balancing of the two things that you're doing or the multiple things that you're doing. How are you balancing your music career, like being a musician itself, and then balancing the business? So you're behind a desk at some points and then you're behind drums. How are you balancing those?
So my days are crazy. I literally have to wake up in the morning and get started. My mind is always constantly running, and it's a lot. It's very, very difficult to know that New York started 3 hours ago. So they're already ahead of you. And then the people in Italy are 12 hours, 9 hours actually ahead of you. And my mind thinks like that. So it's constantly going. So in the morning times and the daytimes, social media, dope sticks, handling all of that. Afternoon, Eric Moore, the drummer. By night, trying to figure out how I'm going to get all my drums put in the car to get to the gig. And it's literally have to be all these different people. And remember that we're all human. So even, it's not called downplaying because I love playing the gigs, but to think about, okay, you got to be your own drum tech. You got to make sure you got all this gear, put it in the car, get to the gig set up, and then you're still going to work for somebody else. So in the morning, I'm a boss. All day, I'm a boss. And now I have to be the drummer in the back for the artist, whoever I'm playing for, the gig that I'm doing. And it's different. It's very, very different to just be all these different people at different times, even from going on tour and living in hotel, city to city, airplane to airplane, and then you come home and everything is totally different. So it's larger scales, smaller scales, but you still got to remain humble and be cool in the situation. Life takes tolls. My life totally changed when my father passed away. Like my anxiety, my personality, me in the last 3 years since 2021, January 2021, when my dad died, that changed my whole perception of everything. I believe like it shut me down. And it's been different to come back to even doing this, like talking on podcasts and being personable to people and stuff like that. I just didn't want to deal with nothing because I was like, I have to just focus on me building myself back up because like that was Superman to me. So now I don't got that. And I guess that part of me kind of died. So it's different.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's one of the things when I talked to a friend not too long ago, she lost her son, unfortunately. And it wasn't about learning how to get back to who you are. It's about to get to know the new you. Because without that person, it's a new you.
That's exactly it.
You survived on your father and his wisdom, his being there, being able to just pick up the phone when I'm sure when amazing stuff happened in your life, it's like, call my dad.
Always.
And I get that. And so that's what I talked to her. We had this conversation and she was like, I just got got to get back to myself. And I was like, I heard something and I'm going to just share it with you. And it was just about not trying to get back to the who you were, is get to know this new person.
Totally.
Without your son, you know, in this case, without your father in your life. I mean, my mother, she's here with us, and I always say she's here, but she's not, because she has dementia. And so getting to know, like, there's so many times where I'd be like, Mom, how did you make that stuffing? Or how did, and I can't ask, you know what I mean? So I have to get to who the new me and the new, or figuring it out. And actually, I was curling my hair yesterday, and I was like, I remember, and just little thoughts, like, I remember my mom taught me how to, you know, properly curl my hair with a curling iron. Just little stuff like that, and you know,
that'll
to have
stick with you.
It's gonna stick with you forever. But also, it's one of those reminders. It either make you smile, or make you, you know, sad, be down and sad again.
Even the frown is still sad. It's still a happy place.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, you're like, dang, they're not here, or she can't really. I can't call her about that or talk to her about that. But it's still something that happened.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta find a silver lining.
You constantly keep on rolling, man. Okay, we're gonna keep on rolling with these two, because I need to know more about Mr. Eric Moore and this genius.
We might have to do a part 2. Who knows?
We'll keep it going too. I want to make sure. I mean, I'm a super fan. You know, I show up to shows gigs that you're on locally. You know, I show up.
Totally.
And if you ever have a show that's just Eric Moore show, like, I'm gonna be there.
That's
you just let me know.
It's gonna be lit.
But I also told you, my passport is ready.
Totally.
You know,
ready
I
to go.
use them. My stamps are not like yours, as I saw.
You are an amazing support system to so many artists, especially different artists that I play for. And I appreciate your love for music, and how you support the artistry is super dope.
I do. I'm there for it. Like, that's what it really is about. It's for me. Yeah, I work from home, so my entertainment, I can choose to entertain myself in all types of things. Vegas has a lot to get into.
It really does.
But my mind always goes to music, because to me that's therapy.
Yeah.
That is, you know, what you guys do on stage gives me therapy. It gives me energizing. It makes me actually want to go home and do something. You know, do my podcast.
Really cool.
Turn the camera on. Right. That's that.
Be creative.
Right.
Be
I'm
creative.
around creative people, so I want to be creative.
Yeah.
Can I sing? Can I drum? Nope. I can listen really well. But what it makes me want to do is work harder too.
Yeah.
Like, as you know, you working really hard. I mean, you be sweating up there sometimes. You know, I'm sure most of it's lights and all
it's
the work you've been doing. But
it's
you
work. I move the most. I be looking at the bass player and the keyboard player. Like, y'all get to just chill. I am up here going in.
Right.
I'm going in.
Yeah, you do. And music directing at the same time. I see that at the same time.
Got to. What's crazy is when you get to a certain level, especially here, a lot of times we don't never have rehearsals. So we get the music from the artist, and they tell us what songs we want to do. So coming up with that change of when we go to the next song, or that ending for that song, or even the start of the song, feeling the vibe, knowing if the artist wants to play fast or slow, coming up with a break right there, is literally done on the spot.
Right.
So you have to pretty much have third eye with everybody. As the drummer for me,
Right. There's no song list on stage. There's none of that stuff. That's the beauty of working together, because I'm sure you can jump in. You and I saw the artists that you work with. The ones you work with are key people who can work with anybody, and that's what I love about it. Like, you guys usually put a dynamic group together, and you can tell when somebody's like just to fill in like last minute, and you're like, we gonna work with you. We gonna work with you. But a real artist can jump in and be able to play and feel the tempo, and that conversation is like a language, right? It's German, but for musicians, if you will. I don't know what's the hardest language. Is it German? Something. I don't know.
Me, it's been Italian.
That's
Yeah,
you
playing
be in
for
Italy.
the Italian artists and being in Italy all the time. It's been learning Italian, but they have a lot of crazy languages. I'm just grateful to be able to. The biggest and the best language is the language of music, because it is world renowned.
Yeah.
And you could go anywhere on an instrument.
Because you're performing with people like big name people in Europe, and they're singing in other languages. The whole concert isn't in another language.
Is definitely he's an Italian pop star. He's an Italian. He's, to us in America, you would say Michael Jackson, Prince. He is that of Italy, and definitely in South America too. Like, he's a big deal. It's a really dope experience to be able to be on that stage with that magnitude of an artist.
Without the language barriers are there. However, the artistry, the music is the language that you guys are speaking.
Yeah, that's how he saw me play, and he handpicked me to be his drummer. So yeah, just that's from awesome. Drums, yeah, it's cool.
How do you get your gigs? So he saw you play. Where were you at? Were you playing somewhere else or online?
He followed me on social media.
Okay.
Like social media, I've gotten a lot of work from people seeing me on social media and reaching reaching out. And a lot of times it's the artist. I love the fact that in the community of drums or being a musician, a lot of your favorite musicians are only put on because of the MD or the musical director. And what's crazy is in the music that I would love to, I guess, play drums in, you would think I want to play more pop, more playing for black artists. It's only a few people that all of the gigs. So you gotta go to the Adam Blackstones. He is like the man. And in order to work, it's like he puts all these different people in the chain of command. So he's at the top of the tree and it goes down. And then even in order to be called, you got to be able to work with this person in order to get that gig. So it's a lot that goes into it and how these big gigs go. But for me, I've been very, very blessed and fortunate to just get the call from the biggest artists that see me and they respect my playing. Not just, okay, this one mind thinks that you can play this music well, and then we'll call you through that or we'll work it out through that. Nah, it's really dope when the artist knows that you could play all of these notes, but I can't wait to see you play behind me and play what I give you. It's a total different experience. Yeah, it's really mind-blowing. It's really mind-blowing. And to trust me in that aspect, and it's so cool.
So he's overseas. He's in a totally different country. He wants you to play on his gig. What is that like? Are you auditioning at home? You have enough drum sets to draw audition at home. Are you auditioning as well for one of his? He's like, hey, here's one of my songs. Can you play this? Let me hear how you play it.
What's
or
crazy,
is he just like, come on out and I'm gonna fly you?
No, they hit me through, he has a production team. The production dude hit me and told me, he said, Eros would love to hire you to be his drummer. This is back in 2017. And he said, we're about to do a big major tour. What's funny is, if I go back, they sent me an email in 2012. And I answered the email and I didn't know who Eros was then. And I told them, because I was in suicidal tendencies then. And I told them, I said, I have more obligations already coming up. I'm about to go on tour with the rock band that I'm in. So I will have to decline on this tour. And they asked me, do you know any other drummers? They emailed me back, and I was like, yes, I know people, Thomas Pridgeon, Ronald Bruner, and I know these different names. And then Thomas Pridgeon ended up going on tour with them. So it was cool to see that happen. I don't know if it's just me or whatever, but maybe I was able to tell them that this drummer is really cool and refer a drummer to have the gig. And then in 2017, it came right back to me. And what's crazy is at that moment in time when I was Big Eric and Rockstar Eric, I don't think I would have been able to play that gig to the magnitude that I play it now. And I didn't even have the right mind concept in order to be around Italy and be around those people at a young age. So it all came into play and it just played out in my life perfect.
When you
like the
needed
way
it.
God's timing is amazing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, it keeps you going as well. I mean,
Yeah,
Eric
totally.
on tour. That's cool. You get a tour schedule and like, Eric is going, I'm going on tour. This is where I'm going to be. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be where I'm at.
it's nuts when you get the tour schedule and you see you like, okay, I'm about to be gone for a whole year from August 19th to August next year. And it's like, whoa, this is a lot of dates, this is a lot of travel. Am I prepared? And it's a lot of responsibility to go on a world tour. People have to trust you, have to trust that your mind is saying that you're good, being around this many people at this time and knowing how to act, knowing how to maneuver, how to spend your money wisely, how to save your money wisely, not say stupid stuff, because there's people that do stupid stuff, say stupid stuff, and can't be responsible. Like drinking, I don't drink, I don't smoke. That's not my thing, because I feel like I can't be on tour and get sick. I don't want to be on tour and get sick. I got to go on stage and give 100 and 200% every night. Like I got to be above and beyond. I want a flawless victory every day. So when I play and I'm on tour, I want to give the artist exactly what he wants, never nothing less.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that. Like speaking of, we talked about health, and we talked about, and now just saying how you want to be on your best when you're at a performance. Really, for artists, if you don't have dope sticks, right behind you, or if you can't train. I mean, if you get sick, you are down.
Totally.
Like from singers to everything. If you can't perform, that is your livelihood.
I take a lot of responsibility when I'm on tour. I do my show. After I do my show, I go to bed. I'm not the guy that's going to go out and partying, and that's what's because I've started playing drums. I've been a professional drummer for the last 20 years. That's been my MO, because I want to give 110%. And I want to be able to do other things outside of just, okay, I just did the show. So when I got done doing the show, I still have to go do dope sticks now. So being back on it, handling business and making sure other things are handled is what I do. So even when I was first started the tour with Eros, my mind concept was thinking about dope sticks and thinking about how I'm going to maneuver and work my money, turning my house into what's called the drum resort and to everything. So my mind just goes there, and that's where it's at. It's never in just wasting moments. Life is way too precious.
Right, right. I mean, that's really that's really what we kind of all encompass this whole conversation, just talking about the precious moments that we have and what we need to do. I'm definitely feeling like your journey of your next journey, the drum clinic. What do you say? The
Drum resort.
Resort.
Yeah, that's what it's called. It's called the Las Vegas Drum Resort. Yeah, it's my house. Well, now it's my house, but it's a business. It's a business idea. I bought a huge house here in Vegas, and I want people to be able to come and to experience drumming at a high level, learn social media skills, how to take your drumming to the next level from not just knowing chops, but knowing how to place your music on YouTube, how to do different things and build your brand, how many times to post during the day, what to post, how you get your sound correct and everything exactly like the way I do it, and be inspired. Like I inspire so many different drummers, and to be able to, I wish that I can go hang out with Dennis Chambers or Dave Weckl, or even if it was a high profile celebrity, to go pay and go hang out with a celebrity. That's why you go on vacations. So to come to Las Vegas and hang out with me in my crib, and the crib is insane, and play drums and just learn and do stuff like that, I want to give people the opportunities that I never had. So it's an idea that's not far-fetched.
No, it's already developed.
Yes.
You are there, and now it's just the invite. The invites need to be picked up, like I said, and make sure nobody steal your toilet paper. But those invites need to be sent out, and that's a whole just different venture. I feel like with me, I have so many different venture, avenues that I like to go in, and it is about timing, like setting that calendar up, setting that schedule up. Like earlier this morning, I was Tanisha, the makeup artist, to get the makeup and hair and makeup done. Today I'm here working with you, rocking with you. I'm gonna go back home and do what we said we weren't gonna talk about HR. I'm gonna go back to my HR, put that hat back on,
though, to be able
to get it done.
To do that, a lot of people can't. A lot of people only know their 9 to 5 and their mom duties.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, to each their own for the limitations, because for me, I tell people, I just told a story not too long ago. My ex-husband was the type of person, he is so humble, and he's so, ex for a reason, but he's so cool when it comes to, he doesn't need much. He is happy, and he's genuinely happy in his space, right? So he doesn't need to travel the world and go here and go on vacation. He's like, 1 or 2 vacations a year is enough. And I was like, ooh, this ain't gonna work out for me, because I want to go, and I want to explore, and I want to learn. And so I had to learn with that. That was one of my learning moments, of saying not everybody's going to be where you want to be. Not everybody wants to do multiple things. They are happy where they're at. My son, me and his father, we raised them to like have a household, roof over head, and work really hard to get stuff. My son was like, no, I'm going to live in my RV, and I'm not going to get an RV park. I'm going to live on the side of a road. And I was like, what? Clutching my pearls. I didn't raise you to live on the side of a road. My son was so happy. He did that for years, stockpiled his money. And now he's like, yeah, and when I'm ready to buy a house, I'm going to buy a house. He's in a place now, but he was happy where he was at, but I had to meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
Right? And that's okay. I'm not trying to pull everybody up where I'm at.
You got to let the man be the man, or the woman be the woman. You got to let them.
And the person be the person, because it doesn't have to be man and woman. It's just let the person be the person.
Yeah.
That's where they're at. I get it. I remember my niece, she wasn't in college at the time. She was in school, and I'm talking to her on the phone. My boss overheard me, and I'm like, man, if I didn't have kids, I'd be doing this. I'd have been doing this, niece. I'd have done that. This is what you do. And my boss, he was like, yeah, just her. He said, everyone's timing is their own.
It really is.
And I was I was like 21, 22, and I was like, you know what, you're right? Because I was dreaming at that point, because my personality is like hustle mode. I'm like, I want to do all that stuff, but I actually put myself in a situation where I had kids early and got married early, all this stuff early. So I had something in my way, if you will, that slowed me down.
Totally.
And some people need to be slowed down. Sometimes I do need to be slowed down, to be honest with you, right? So I can be able to get back to focusing, because I'm all over the place and I want to do everything. And I'm like, wait, hold on, go camping and stuff. Like, what's your outlet outside of music? What are you doing?
Well, it's a lot of work, because I do it all by myself. Before, I was married, and I got divorced, and life has been very, very different. But I used to love to go on a cruise for like a week. And because cruise ships just have everything at one time. Because my life is so different and I'm always gone, I love to be at home. I love to just be in my own silence and be able to just relax for a moment. Other than that, bowling is awesome. Being able to just go out and hear other music and hang out in the city is really, really cool. Camping, nah, that ain't really my thing. I'm not trying to be in the wild like that. Because honestly,
Drum
I don't
in the-
want to be hurt.
You can drum in the open environment air.
No,
Oh
that's
my gosh,
dope.
that's a
Now, if I
dream.
could go do that, yes. But like, let's say I'm camping because, for one, I used to be big or anything. To be honest with you, I didn't have insurance, so I was like, yeah, I don't want to fall and break something, and then I can't drum because that's all I got. So if I mess up something, I ain't gonna be able to make no money.
Right.
So that was a part of my life, like just being safe.
Right. Yeah, right. We gonna keep this
Yeah, I had to
real
be safe. Like I couldn't go trying to play basketball. You mess up and you break a finger or something. I need all these limbs.
Right.
It's crazy. I used to ride
telling you.
motorcycles when I was a kid, and I remember breaking my toes. So I had to have a cast on my right foot, and that's the foot that you play drums on. So I had to learn how to play drums with my left foot because I had a cast on my right foot for like 3 months.
Okay.
So it totally, actually not 3 months, 6 weeks. 6 weeks be feeling like a long time as a kid. So
it did. I had 8 weeks. A cast for 8 weeks.
So that was like real hard. And it just changed your perspective on thinking. I was like, I can't hurt myself because I don't want to be in a bad situation where if I did get the tour call, I done messed up my finger or I can't do this because this is down or I don't want to miss out on the opportunity.
That's really, really good. Keeping your schedule and things like that. I mean, hey, this is why you're too skilled to fail, Eric Moore. Because you can be able to do that. But we definitely are. We have so much that we can get back into. You know, we can part 2, part 3, part 4, because I want to hear about that next venture that you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like not when you do it, you know, you're going to do it.
Totally.
It's about when, you know, you're going to have the time to do it because you have everything else going on.
Yeah.
But that next business venture that's going to keep you, you know, again, good. So you can be able to, in your 60s, 70s, you can be at home and not tour the world. I don't know, though. You're an Aquarius, and if you're anything like me, you're going to still want to tour. You say it, but your body and mind will probably still want to do it. I love being at home. Don't get me wrong. I do love being at home, but to be able to get an opportunity to be like, you know what, wow, okay, I'm about to go play in Amsterdam. I'm about to go play, you know what I mean?
It's cool feelings.
I think it's got to be a great feeling.
It's a great feeling.
I'm looking forward to seeing you you're touring again soon, or what's
Probably
coming
not
up next?
Well, I have my own different things coming up. Next year in 2025, I have China clinic tour. So that's like 15 dates over in Korea, China. And then I have Taipei, I believe, in February. I got some other dates coming up. I have a lot of Eric Moore clinic dates that'll take place next year, which I'm very, very excited about, where I get to go be myself and be wild and play a lot of different drums. It's really cool from playing a gig to me being myself and doing drum clinics. So be on the lookout, be in a different country, different cities, state, all of that next year is going to be crazy.
All right. So where can everybody find you? And give me as many platforms as you want to give.
Eric Moore _II is the Instagram. And just type in Google Eric Moore II, Eric Moore the drummer, and everything comes up. Like, just go see
Check
for
him
yourself and be sure to tap in, comment on a post. If you watch this, say what's up. It's always love.
All right. That's the Eric Moore, ERIC.
Yes.
MOORE.
Yes.
Eric Moore. All right. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
being a
much,
part of
T.
this.
Thank
And we're
you.
gonna keep it going.
Thank
We're gonna
you.
keep the rhythm going.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. This has
right.
been amazing.
Yes, T. Smith
Yes.
Experience by way of Too Skilled to Fail as
Yes.
the series, because you are too skilled to fail.
Appreciate
Bye
you.
now.